समझ नहीं आ रहा अपने सैलरी इंक्रीमेंट का क्या करूं।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है? अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स के एसआईपी का टॉपअप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
क्या? समझ में नहीं आया।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है? अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स का एसआईपी टॉपअप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
अब समझा।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully.
After the Lok Sabha stumble 18 months ago, where Narendra Modi stopped at 240, the spectacular wins in Haryana, Maharashtra, Delhi, and now Bihar, his followers can believe his invincibility is back. And India's politics is back to being a one-horse race. His opponents at the same time will think about what they are doing wrong. Why doesn't anti-incumbency hurt Modi or his partners? And how did India, the alliance, India lose the momentum of the summer of 2024? They could begin by asking themselves some hard questions. More specifically, they have to ask the Congress party. The devastating post-Lok Sabha slide of the opposition is mostly owed to the Congress. Without a Congress revival, there can be no challenge to the BJP. In West Bengal and Tamil Nadu, Mamata Banerjee and MK Stalin can still keep Narendra Modi at bay. Kerala has its own peculiar politics, but the BJP is growing slowly and almost entirely at the cost of the Congress, although it's taken some left front votes among the Erawas as well. In states where Congress piggybacks on a vote bank rich regional party, it's become a liability now. Check out Uttar Pradesh with Akhilesh Yadav's SP Samajwadi Party in 2017, Bihar with RJD in 2020 and now 2025. Everywhere else, a direct BJP Congress fight is a non-contest in any case after its heady flicker of 2024. And yet the Congress retains just over 20% votes nationally, whether 44 seats in 2014 and 99 with alliances in 2024, it has remained intact. That nearly 20% or just over 20% vote share has remained intact. One in five Indians simply vote for hand the Congress symbol. Let's see it this way. In 2024, the Congress party polled 21.4% of the vote. That is more than the aggregate vote share of the next 8 parties from NDA and India alliances. The next 8 parties, 21.4% is more than that. It's a lot of votes to begin with. How does the party see this? There are two upshots, one leading to the other. The first, that the Congress does not need 37%, which is BJP's approximate ballpark Lok Sabha vote. The Congress does not need 37% to beat Narendra Modi. Even a 5% shift can change India's politics. The BJP with 31 to 32% vote may still stay in power, but it will be in a genuine NDA coalition. It can also open up the leadership race within the BJP. Does the Congress have the skills, guts, and most importantly, the humility to think about finding just that additional 5% vote from 22 to 27%? The mention of humility brings us to the next question. How does the Congress see its 1 in 5 vote share? 1 in 5 vote share. A perpetual inheritance and therefore continue seeing itself as India's grand old party, or more specifically, India's party of power by default. That means it believes that inevitably and soon enough, voters will realize how stupid they were to vote for Modi. And then where else will they go but to return home to them, the Congress party? This is disrespectful of competitive politics. If 11 Modi years have not awakened people from this supposed nightmare, when will that soon enough be? It's cruel to borrow the line Sonia Gandhi once used to mock Advani in parliament. But her description, Mungeri Lal ke haseen sapne or beautiful fantasies, would fit her Congress party aptly right now. Instead of seeing itself as India's GOP, grand old party, can the Congress reboot as a Modi-era startup with a committed 20% vote as its initial capital. It's a lot of capital. Since any startup must have a unique selling proposition, this is the Congress party's. I've got more than 20% of the vote in my pocket. But after generations of being the default party of power, beginning afresh as a startup needs humility. That Rahul Gandhi and his increasingly apolitical Praetorian Guard have not displayed lately. If anything, even mild criticism draws the vilest social media abuse. That's the only area where the Congress actually beats the BJP now. Congress's repeated failures to build on its inherited capital brings us to its unquestioned leader, Rahul Gandhi. But one who's unquestioned should not be unquestionable in public debate. Since 2013, Rahul Gandhi has built his pitch over what's wrong with Modi, RSS and BJP. It was communalism first. In fact, his mother had said Maut ke Saudagar also, although that was earlier. The death of Judge Brijgopal Harkrishan Loya. Then next came the Rafale purchase, Adani and Hindenburg, then Ambani Adani and Modi ji ke mitra, the Modi cronies, vote chori through the election commission and social inequalities, which he was going to address through a caste census. If it all bombed so devastatingly, it's telling him something. If Congress had the humility, I'm using this word for the third time, if Congress had the humility, it will read its own history. In 1971, Indira Gandhi promised India a better future and the combined opposition gave a call to remove her. She swept that election with the counter. They say Indira hatao, remove Indira, and Indira ji says Garibi hatao, eradicate poverty. You decide. वो कहते हैं इंदिरा हटाओ, इंदिरा जी कहते हैं गरीबी हटाओ. अब आप फैसला करें. Given India's demographics, voters will always be predominantly young, looking at the future rather than keep leaning back into the past. And a positive agenda is way more likely to work with them than bitterness, contempt, or fear of the incumbent. For voters to reach that, anybody but my current leadership, fury, disappointments have to be much deeper. We have seen both of these play out in 1971, that is Mrs. Gandhi against Mrs. Gandhi post-emergency, and Rajiv Gandhi in 1989. The rout of the UPA in 2014, was marginally because of negativity, because there were allegations of corruption, there were many scams, but essentially it was the success of Modi's positive promise of Achhe Din or better days. What is Rahul Gandhi's equivalent of Achhe Din now? What's he promised since the loss in 2014? Some giveaways like Nyay scheme, free bus rides and power, cash doles. On each of these, Modi ups the offer. He owns the treasury. Rahul's permanent angry young man act is not working. It worked for Amitabh Bachchan in the mid-70s when India battled about 30% inflation, deep poverty and hopelessness. In any case, real politics isn't a Manmohan Desai movie. In today's equation, Modi is promising Viksit Bharat. Rahul hasn't moved on from vote chori and caste census. As Bihar shows, people have rejected the first and Modi has made the second his own because he's now going to count castes also with his next national census. Anger in any aspect of life can be a useful trick if used wisely, deliberately and with the greatest of discretion. You also must know where to stop and return to that wagon of positivity. Let's borrow from Rahul's father and call it the Mera Bharat Mahan or Make India Great Again train. Modi will play you, and that's fair in politics. Deep, chronic anger, however, will walk you into unforced errors. In just the week leading up to the first round of Bihar voting, Rahul made two pitches he had better reflect on. One, that the same 10% caste elites control the army as with the other institutions and power centers. Second, that Jay Shah controlled all of Indian cricket. Of course, people countered by saying that, are you telling us that Sharad Pawar scored many centuries or Rajiv Shukla took many wickets? That little argument apart, this came when the armed forces have peak adulation in Indian public opinion post-Op Sindoor, and Indian men and women have both won between them 3 ICC trophies successively and an Asia Cup where they beat Pakistan 3 times. In any case, the army and cricket are the holiest of holy cows in India. You either have to be nuts to take them on, particularly when they are doing well. You either have to be nuts or very, very angry. It will not get you any votes. It's evident there can be no challenge to Modi without a rejuvenated Congress party. Let's be fair. To be worthy of leading this challenge, the Congress has to shed anger, disdain, definitely contempt for Modi, and try some humility. I'm now using it for the fourth time. They have to think, why does Modi keep winning and us losing? That's a good question to begin with. The best beginning to fighting an all-conquering rival is to show him some respect, not arrogance. Without that tribute, their party, as in the Congress party, will melt away like so many arrogant, maybe soon to be unicorn startups. Or the way it's going, even the regional partners will begin to see Congress as an unaffordable liability and move away, finding modus vivendi with Modi rather than fight him, just like Chandrababu Naidu. And who knows, it may be ripe. The Congress party may be ripe for the political equivalent of a shareholder revolt and management change.